Hey, Dr. J here. Today I want to talk to you about your story. A few months ago, I was invited to be a guest lecturer at a university. And because it was the Department of Social Work, I spoke with the students about um, really honing in on their own story. Because, yes, as social workers, therapists, we work with the community, and we find people in a lot of times when we're working with the community in these roles, we are finding people not in their best in life at the time. And I talk to the students about their own story, because a lot of times working in this field, we have to be aware of our own story. Because what I've come to find out over the years is that we all have a story, right? Every single one of us has a story. And our story is made up by the things that have taken place in our life, right? They are the things that have shaped us for good or for not so good. And so I was talking to the students about really looking at their own story, and to be careful that we do not look at other people's story as a badly written book, right? Because we have our own stories. Um, and what I've come to learn is that no matter how long you're on this earth, no matter how long you're on this earth, if you're on this earth for 1 minute or if you're on this earth for 100 years, everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And I actually have a saying that I started using maybe about a year ago, that everybody has a story. And some lives tell many tales. And what I mean by that is that somebody might have just one major thing that has happened in their life, right? That has written their story. Or some people have had several major things that have happened in their life that has written chapters in a book, right, of their own story, their own life story. And we have to be careful that we're not looking at another person's life or their story thinking it is a badly written story. Because the same way they have had things happen in their lives, which have molded them and shaped them, we have also had things that have happened in our lives. I know I have, for sure. Um, and part of that story, right? Part of our story is that we come to the realization that because specific things have happened in our life, the book doesn't always have to end where that trauma has taken place, right? And so moving forward, we have to learn how to not only give grace to other people, but give grace to ourselves. We have to give grace to ourselves, because it's very difficult that we carry these stories, right? I think it is. It has been difficult to carry some stories. Some stories in my life I'm embarrassed about. Some stories in my life I'm ashamed about. Or should I say I was, where we carry stories in our life where we are embarrassed. We are ashamed of what has taken place in our life. But I have learned how to try to use my chapters in my life to push me forward, to really push me forward in life. Most things, once they're done, they're done. You can't do anything about it. But like I said, that does not mean that write your entire book. It doesn't. You can add chapters to your book that either will overshadow the negative that has happened, or that you can build on and grow from the negative that has happened. And another thing we need to be very careful about is that we look at other people's story and compare ourselves to theirs, right? So one thing I told the class is we got to be very careful that in trying to bond or engage with people that we say, I know how you felt. I know how you feel. And I think that's a very dangerous thing to say, because maybe you might have a similar chapter in your book, but your chapters are not written the same. You can't say that, right? I've had people say to me, because I was a single parent at one time, I've had people say to me, oh, I was a single parent, I know how you feel. And I'm saying, you don't know how I feel, because perhaps you have been a single parent, but maybe we came into single parenthood in very different ways. Perhaps you became a single parent because the other parent is away in jail for life, or perhaps the other parent died, or perhaps the other parent just walked away and left you to raise kids by yourself. So we might have a similar story, but it's not the same, right? And so again, we have to be very careful of how we look at other people's stories, to either downgrade it, downplay it, because in the end, none of us, not near person, leaves this world unscathed. Not near person. Like I said, whether you're here for 1 hour or you're here for 100 years, nobody leaves this earth untouched. So if you can, try to write as much of your own story as you can. Some pages will be written for you and there's nothing you can do about it. But if you can, add to your story. Tell your own narrative. Okay? And I'll catch you guys on the next go round.